just recap Wednesday during that time for the most part? Just talk about that game and maybe what MSOE did. I took a lot of notes on their recap, so I'll lead into you with some of that. Yeah. I'll try not to ask you any unexpected tough questions. All right, let's have some fun. All right.
Hopefully we got this.
We'll have a go.
Some crazy plays, maybe.
Well, hey, if it continues from Benedictine last year, right?
Oh, yeah.
Greetings, basketball fans, and welcome to the Mulva Family Fitness and Sports Center in De Pere, Wisconsin, where tonight your St. Norbert College Green Knights take on the Raiders of MSOE in a NAC Conference semifinal contest. Both teams advancing on Wednesday in the quarterfinals. St. Norbert by a score of 83-72 over Aurora, and MSOE 91-74 over Marion. The 2-seed St. Norbert, the 3-seed Raiders, and joining me here is Austin Miller, a voice you're very familiar with. And Austin, you were at that game on Wednesday night. What were some of your takeaways and impressions from the Green Knights' performance against Aurora?
Yeah, so on Wednesday there, we saw a great game between St. Norbert and Aurora. The one thing that stood out to at least me and to possibly the rest of the conference was the fast start that the Green Knights went on.
Yeah.
You know, starting out really hot, Jamison Nikolai comes out in the first half, drops 16 points.
Yes.
He ended with 24 after that 1,000 mark that he actually ended up accomplishing. Yeah. But very fast start for the Green Knights in that first half, and it just kind of let them cruise through that second half. Maybe cruise is maybe not the best term for that, but the gas pedal was all the way on the floor for that second half.
They hit some potholes at times in the second half. Aurora came out. What I thought was impressive, I was attending that game, and it was 16-2 to open the game for St. Norbert, as you mentioned, the fast start. In fact, Aurora didn't get their first field goal until 5 minutes had already passed in the half, and the Knights got out to a tremendous lead in the contest. In fact, their lead got to as high as 31 points in the second half, but then Aurora went on an offensive tear, made over 50% of their shots in the second half.
Yeah, just like how you mentioned, that last 10 minutes there for Aurora was very well, just maybe a couple 10 minutes too late. Yep. As like how you just mentioned, Green Knights go up by 31, and then Aurora starts making that run of, I think they went on like a 12 to maybe 4 run for a little bit, and then it was kind of like back and forth for those last couple minutes.
Yep.
But other than that, I mean, like how I just said, Aurora, 10 minutes a little too late.
Yeah, and you had mentioned the 1,000-point career performance that we saw in that game. We actually had two, both Jamison Nikolai and Garrett Gresh went over 1,000-point. Huge career markers for those two players that you've been calling their games for their entire careers.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Garrett Gresh, he started out as a freshman coming in right away. Jamison Nikolai kind of had to take the long road in terms of longevity, as Jamison Nikolai didn't really get to start playing until his sophomore year. Had great guards in front of him like Michael Pant and Carter Gebler and many other great S&C alumni that were just ahead of Jamison Nikolai, but Garrett Gresh came in here right away, started making an impact for the Green Knights. Great three-point shooter. So, I mean, nothing the less, just two great players for the Green Knights, and very happy for them as they accomplished a 1,000-point mark.
Well, tonight they get MSOE, who went 18-8 overall, 13-5 in the NAC. They were in third place behind the Green Knights. They went to a 91-74 win over Marion, and just looking at that recap, that game never got real tight between the two of them. I think Marion closed it to 7 a couple times in the second half before an MSOE run would put that game away. And what was interesting is Donovan Carter went a perfect 9 for 9 from the field, including 3 for 3 from the three-point arc. He ended up with 23 points to lead the team. He had 22 when the Green Knights saw MSOE in their only other matchup earlier this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Donovan Carter, great player for this MSOE team. To start things out, Mason Doperik,
yes,
he was their leading scorer leading into that game against the Green Knights the first time around. Just around 21.7 points a game before that first one in February. But the second half of the season kind of here, late down the stretch, Donovan Carter has been the go-to player for MSOE. Great scorer, efficient on the offensive end, and just lethal with his shot, you could say. Like how you just mentioned, 23 points of 9 on 9.
Right.
Shooting from the field, that's very impressive, especially from a guard in collegiate basketball.
Taking a look at MSOE's season so far this year, a statistic that jumped out to me is they're 40% beyond the arc. I mean, you'll take that any day of the week. Now, they don't shoot as many threes. They shot just under 499 threes on the year. The Green Knights are up over 600. So they don't shoot as many threes, but that conversion rate of 40% is going to win you a lot of basketball games.
Exactly like what you just mentioned. You know, maybe not a lot of shots, but very efficient. And in the game of basketball, you have to be efficient.
Right.
It's exactly like many other sports. Football, hockey, baseball, you have to be efficient with your play in order to come out with a victory. And just like how you mentioned, 40% from three is very impressive, no matter the number of, even if you're putting up 900 shots of
right.
a three-point percentage. That's like Grinnell level right there. But, I mean, either way, very efficient offensively, and that's really what's helped this MSOE team become an 18-18.
Brought back some good memories of watching those Grinnell teams change lines every time down the court, basically, and do nothing but pop three-pointers. You know, you talked about efficiency. The Green Knights are fairly efficient from the free throw line at 72.6. That's not a bad number. But you look at MSOE from the line, they're at almost 80% from the free throw line, which is terrific at any level of basketball. So as you get down the stretch, if you're find yourself in a foul and hope game for St. Norbert, that's going to be hard to find a guy you're going to be comfortable placing at the line in red and black.
Absolutely, and just like how Coach Gresh mentioned in the pregame show, you know, you really have to take away the MSOE ability of getting to the line because of how efficient they are. Like how you mentioned, just over 80% from the line this season, which is a terrific feat for a basketball team at the level. Johnny and I say it all the time when we're on the call. Free throws win you basketball games,
right.
And when it does come down to a late time scenario, I don't know what you really can do because of the 80% free throw percentage from MSOE.
You just hope the pressure gets to him, I guess, in that situation. Speaking of Johnny, you normally have Johnny Tim along with you. Johnny is off at a track meet right now and doing pretty well for himself, in second place right now after day one of the heptathlon, but that doesn't finish until tomorrow. It's a pleasure for me, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you, and we'll send it down to the court now for the starting lineups and our national anthems.
25 Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference men's basketball tournament between visiting Raiders and Milwaukee School of Engineering. And your St. Norbert College Green Knights. Before we name tonight's starting lineups, please rise for our national anthem. NCAA and Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference promote courteous and respectful behavior by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants in a positive manner. Profanity, racist, or sexist comments or other intimidating actions are ground for ejection from the arena. Also, consumption of alcoholic beverages is prohibited. Let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First for Milwaukee School of Engineering at an hour, a 6'2" junior from Manitowoc, number 4, Mason Norbert. At an hour, a 6'4" senior from Island Lake, Illinois, number 23, Donovan Carter. At an hour, a 6'3" junior from East Troy, number 25, Chase Cummings. At a forward, a 6'5" freshman from Batavia, Illinois, number 40, CJ Alenti. At a forward, a 6'5" junior from Oak Creek, number 42, Carson Cordelli. Head coach of the Raiders in his third season in Milwaukee is Kevin Hurd. And now the starting lineup for your Sabre College Green Knights. And now the 6'1" freshman from Delaware, Cyril Will Stuckey. And forward, a 6'8" senior from Prairie du Chien, number 3, Britt Wilson. And forward, a 6'5" senior from Green Bay, number 41, Garrett Grish. And another 6'4" senior from Des Plaines, Illinois, number 11, Harrington. And another 6'5" senior from Chicago, number 10, Jameson Nikolai. Head coach of the Green Knights in his 18th season in the career is Danny Rich. Your officials at the side of the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference: Joe Peason, Ivan Zaleski, Kenny Srakis, and alternate is Jason Fish.
All right, we're just about set for tip-off, thanks to Dan Lucas, the PA announcer here at Mulva Family Fitness and Sports Center, for getting us set for the start of tonight's game. Austin, you had a chance to talk to head coach Gary Gresh before the contest tonight. What did you learn from Gary about this game?
Yeah, so before this one, like how you just mentioned, had the ability to talk with him, and he was basically just saying how well this MSOE team has played so far this season, especially through Carter and Doperik. I mean, two great players, lethal scorers for this MSOE team, very guard heavy in that scenario. So Aiden Harrington and Jameson Nikolai will be guarding them two tonight. But other than that, you got to play very well defensively, get back in defensive transition, keep them away from the free throw line, and just be dogs on the defensive end.
Well, Valente wins the tip. MSOE will start with it. Doperak will take the jumper from just beyond the free throw line. Does not go. Rebound to Nikolai. Might set up shop. Stuckey on the wing. Up for Nikolai. Over for Harrington now. Harrington near side for Garrett Gresh. Gresh back for Nikolai. Fakes right, then dishes over for Stuckey. Back for Nikolai's three. That's off the front rim. Gresh with the rebound. Pulls it out of traffic. Gets it to, layup by Nikolai. Going to his left side. And the Green Knights are on the board first.
That right there was one of the things that kind of killed MSOE the first time around in terms of the rebounding battle. Green Knights had plenty of offensive rebounds in that first one in that game in February. So we'll see if MSOE will maybe adjust to that later in the game.
Yeah, those second chance points costly. Setting up now is Carter, and he'll beat his man directly to the front of the hoop, lay it up and in. Little finger roll. And Carter's off and running. 2-2 our score, 18:37 and counting left in the opening half of basketball. Near side comes Nikolai. Over for Stuckey. Up to Gresh, trying to get it deep, and arms are locked there as they tried to feed it to Wilson Brandt. He was unable to get free and get to that ball. It bounces out of bounds.
Yeah, absolutely. I already like the pace of play from both squads, plus the refs. They're letting the guys play a little bit. We saw a little chippiness in a sense, little
Yep.
elbows back and forth between each other, between many guys on the court, so we'll see if that sticks throughout the whole game as well.
It looked like Brandt had an opening on that lob, but just couldn't get himself free. There's a little lane jumper, and that one's good. Once again, it is Doperik. He's got all 4 so far, 4-2 MSOE. Handed off to Nikolai, now for Harrington. Far side, Stuckey stops, and Gresh will take the 3 from the top of the key. That one rims out. Grabbed down by Donovan Carter. Dribbling on the left hand. Hands it off for Doperik, poked away from him and out of bounds. It'll remain MSOE ball. Good active hands there from Jamison Nikolai.
Yeah, Nikolai and Harrington, like how I just mentioned, just 2 great defenders for this Green Knight team. They'll have the tale of 2 toes between Carter and Doperik, 2 of the best players on this MSOE team. We'll see how they handle them as well.
Right now, keeping him on the perimeter. Dribbling to his left was Valente, dishes it off. Carter fakes the shot, drives the baseline. 3 on the shot clock, puts it up, no good. Rebound, St. Norbert. Stuckey hauls it in. Stuckey will bring it up court. He's going to go right to the hole, stops, kicks out for Gresh. No, fakes the 3. Back for Nikolai, now inside. Little left hand mini hook there that time. Up and good for Brant Wilson.
I like the action there offensively from the Green Knights, just playing a little 1-2 game, just trying to get positioning for Brant Wilson. Brant Wilson, one of the most efficient players in the country in terms of around the rim.
MSOE in their set. Down low for Doperik again. He was trapped, kicked it out for Carter. Carter on the left-hand dribble. Valente has it now. He'll pop for 3 and good. CJ Valente makes it 7-4 Raiders here in the early going. It was a pure-looking shot there from Valente. Harrington to his left. He'll put it up and off the back iron, no good. Once again there to put it home is Brant Wilson. 1-point game with 16:07 and counting now.
We've already seen it a couple times now, a couple offensive rebounds for these Green Knights. Going to have to...
Ooh, blocking foul called as Carter bowls his way into Aiden Harrington there that time. Harrington ruled to not have position first there, so they'll take a timeout on the floor here. It'll be MSOE ball, leading 7-6. Cheerleaders out on the floor and trying to get the crowd spirits up here. Just a 1-point deficit right now for St. Norbert. And again, they won the only meeting between these 2 teams back on February 5th, so it wasn't that long ago. Sometimes when you play a team only once and it's way at the beginning of the season, you're really looking at 2 totally different basketball teams the next time they meet. But it's only been a month, less than a month, since these 2 teams saw each other. You can draw a lot of equations, I think, between that game and this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And like how you mentioned, a game way early in the season is very different compared to later. Not only because, you're just playing them at a later time, but your tendencies and your identity of who you are as a team is way different from maybe October or November compared to February or even now March. Yeah. It's just a tale of 2 toes basically, and it's just it'll be interesting to see the difference possibly between these 2 tonight.
Yeah, it will. I think, I do a lot of St. Norbert hockey, and Tim Coughlin likes to think about you're really in your next year. Sophomores start as sophomores. By the end of the year, they're juniors. That's the progression they have to be making during the year. There's a chance from the wing there that time. Hard off the iron, no good on the opportunity from Ethan Johnson, who checked into the basketball game. Jamison will take the 3, top of the key. Bang! He hits it. St. Norbert leads it 9-7. Doperik with it. Hands the ball off to Chase Cunningham. Now to Carter. Donovan Carter will go to his right. Knights get a little help inside and a block there that time. Going up to get that one was Brant Wilson. Good help defense that time by Wilson.
Yeah, that's a long 6'8" frame that you have to go around. personally, I wouldn't be going about it. But
Wilson with the mini hook again. Up and in. Brant Wilson's been the star of the show here in this first 5 minutes of the basketball game. It's 11-7, St. Norbert. In possession now, Ethan Johnson, and taken away by the Knights. Turnover. Pitleski into the ball game. Pitleski goes to his right in the low block, kicks it out. Knights swing it all the way to Wilson on the far side. Now in deep, trapped was Nikolai. Kicks it out for Stuckey. He'll go to his right hand off the bottom of the backboard, really, and now we're going to get a foul called on the floor against the Raiders.
Stuckey, only a freshman for this Green Knight team, but really has evolved to a true guard. A little bit of a floor general for these Green Knights. Didn't really start out being a starter at the beginning of the season, but between Grade and Stuckey throughout the past 10-15 games, Stuckey has been the one to find the starting role and be efficient offensively.
Absolutely. Checking in for the Knights was Olenbrecht, cutting to the basket and unable to lay it in, but drawing the contact there was Will Stuckey. Good hard take to the basket there that time for Stuckey. Second team foul. First individual foul for MSOE. They've got number 13 up there on the call, but there is no number. Oh, yeah, there he is, 13. I'm looking at the wrong side. Never mind. Isaac Witt. Every once in a while, you look at the wrong roster. Pick it up and in, and it's good.
Happens as a broadcaster. I will say I've had the same scenarios happen. Got to deal with pronunciations, deal with the fast-paced game. I'm sure you know all two tales of that one with hockey, but
yeah, exactly. It's both fast-paced, just in their own way. The Knights pick up a foul as Doperak had fed that inside. Drawing the call was Carson Cordell. Foul goes against Olenbrecht. There's Doperak. He'll take another jumper. This one from just beyond the free throw line, and the Knights give up two there. 13-9 our score. 13:51 remaining. There's Gresh, top of the key. Worked far side for Grade. Grade tried to feed it inside, and a good takeaway there that time by Gendusa. Doperak, the main ball handler for this team. Down inside for Donovan Carter. He puts a shoulder into the Green Knights' Nikolai, who knocks the ball out of bounds. It'll stay with MSOE. Two team fouls each way. Both teams still have all four of their timeouts left here with 13:25 left in the first half. Doperak will take the little baseline jumper right from the dunker's hole there that time.
There you go, catching on to basketball terms a little bit.
Well, that was the one I didn't know. You taught me one tonight. Harrington will get it over to Gresh. Gresh on the right-hand dribble. Back for Harrington. He'll take it from the wing. Bang! Aiden Harrington.
Aiden Harrington, one of those guys that wasn't really a scorer in the regular season, would only average right around probably 7 points a game there, but as of recently in the playoffs, had 12 on Wednesday night, and so far already tonight he has 5.
Could have been a travel there. Fans certainly wanted it in the student section. Jumper is no good on that play by Gendusa. The Knights will swing it. Harrington inside. Gresh had position, lays the shoulder, fakes, goes up and good and one. Gresh got his man in the air there that time. You don't want to be there if you're Carson Cordelli. When he went up the second time, he draws the foul and puts it home.
It's a big guy down there that you kind of have to deal with. I always say this in the broadcast, especially in the recent games. It reminds me a lot of Nikola Jokic for the Denver Nuggets. Kind of a slow-paced guy in terms of his offensive game. can dish the ball really well, but efficient.
And he makes
Nothing
threes.
less.
He can shoot it from the outside like Jokic. All right, stopping and popping from the wing and short on that. And we'll get a foul on the ground. They're going to call jump ball. They are going to call a jump ball. It's Green Knight possession. That was Doperak again on the shot. Possession arrow Green Knight's way. They've kind of slowly brought themselves out to a 9-point lead here right now, and 18-9, doubling up MSOE so far.
Exactly like how you said, a little fast-paced. Excuse me, I had a little hiccup there, but fast-paced start for MSOE, and then kind of just dialing it in defensively were the Green Knights for the past couple minutes here out of that TV timeout.
All right, Harrington up to Olenbrock and now to Grade. Far side, be taken on the left hand, wide open, just straight to the hole for Pitleski. And Milwaukee School of Engineering needs a timeout. Knights out to a 20-9 lead. It's a full timeout now for MSOE. They're going to need to talk things over. Head coach Kevin Hurd not liking what he's seeing. Green Knights on a nice little run here of late.
Yeah, absolutely. You can thank the defensive emphasis that the Green Knights have brought out of that TV timeout just a couple minutes ago. Ever since then, have been getting things offensively and using their defensive stop to be efficient on offense. So you can say maybe we'll see a little run from MSOE here, as, you know, the game of basketball comes in games of runs. So maybe a little MSOE run here, but maybe not, as you see Coach Gresh dealing things up defensively. That's his main priority in terms of the game of basketball. He loves his defense.
Oh, absolutely. Of course, those of us who've lived in Green Bay, born and raised in the Green Bay area, saw Gary Gresh play defense under Dick Bennett, the University of Wisconsin Green Bay. Defense of the smothering shutdown variety, including on Hall of Famer Jason Kidd in the 1991 NCAA tournament. Kidd playing for Cal, and UWGB upsetting Cal in a first-round game, largely thanks to Gary Gresh's ability to keep Jason Kidd off the scoreboard.
You know, that still amazes me to this day. The amount of times I hear that and how Coach Gresh just made Jason Kidd look silly out there was impressive, nonetheless.
Yeah. It was unbelievable, really, as a fan to watch. There's a shot short. That opportunity for Doperak, and then the putback up and good on the rebound. Gendusa scores it. Second chance points there for MSOE. Some physical play there as the challenge comes defensively from Amoa. Knights will swing it. Grade will take the three. That one rims out. Rebound taken down by Ane Amoa. Kick near side for Donovan Carter now. Amoa will send it far side. And straight to the rack, drawing a foul is Doperak. He'll go to the free throw line for two. Foul on the Knights on Kyle Krieger. His first, team's third. Two for Doperak. Again, the team 80% from the free throw line. And that one is up and good. Doperak from the free throw line, 85% individually. 113 of 133 coming into this game. There's a guy who stands in the gym and practices free throws. No doubt. That is a pure stroke. Straight down. Note to Gary Gresh, don't foul that guy late in this basketball game.
He loves finding the bottom of the net, you could say.
That's right. Stuckey gives it off to Harrington now. To Wilson. Near side for Pitleski, in for Gresh on the right block. He's on his left hand. Will pump, go up, short. Good defense there that time from MSOE. Rebound hauled down by Carter. Or for Cummings. Now near side again to Doperak. Doperak's double teamed. He works his way to the right, leans into Harrington, bounces off, up and no good, but he's going to draw the foul again on Harrington. Well, I'm not sure what you do there if you're Harrington. You're straight up, got your arm straight up in the air, not much more. He bounces off you, basically pushing off on the fadeaway. Nonetheless, 2 free throws for Doperak. And there's one. Well, that one actually touched a little bit of rim there that time.
Surprising. Right? Even on his little mid-range shots, he didn't even hit the rim. It just went straight through the net. So
exactly. He doesn't hear much of that iron clanging sound. He didn't get it there either. When I'm shooting, that's all you hear is iron clanging sounds. Here's Gresh. Knocked away by Carter. It will stay. Green Knight ball. Carter tried to sell that one, but never got through to Nikolai. And Nikolai will inbound.
Kind of always have to sell it, you know?
You do.
You want the ball to go your way.
Nikolai will send out for Stuckey. Now Gresh. Back for Nikolai. Now Gresh on the right side. Covered very tightly, man-to-man defense. Inside with a little left-hand hook, and the shooter's bounce there that time for the Knights and Connor Pitleski.
He's been very efficient from inside as well. He loves taking his defender baseline and kind of eyeing him up from there. But that time just gets an inside post touch and is efficient.
That 3 no good for Doperak. Very early in the shot clock, he took that attempt. Knights are able to easily grab the rebound on the miss. There's a 3 that bounces off for Gresh. Back the other way come MSOE, down 8 points right now, 22, make that 7 if my math is any good, 22-15. Carter raises above everyone in the lane and hits it. Good elevation there that time for Donovan Carter in some traffic.
20.
Go ahead.
22 points last time around, and that's how he did his damage, right around that paint area, especially the elbows. Knocked down a couple threes in that one, but besides the point, 22 points is still 22 points, and he did it efficiently.
Versatile 6'4" guard for MSOE. Can post up, as you mentioned, and score from inside. There's Brandt missing his 3. Rebound pulled down by Chase Cummings, a 6'3" junior from East Troy. Kicked off near side. Now back to Carter on the far side. Cummings will launch a 3. That one is short. Rebound taken down by the Knights and Harrington. I always want to say Harrington, but it's Jamison Nikolai. Inside for Gresh. Gresh banging his way in. Puts it up off the back iron. There was a little bit of a collision there between Carter and Nikolai. Both none the worse for the wear. Cummings hands off to Carter on the left side from the wing. Launched up and good for Donovan Carter. And it's a 2-point game.
Hand down, man down type philosophy for Carter there. Pitleski had his hands right around the chest area, but that's going to do nothing for you as Carter will obviously shoot right over you.
Yep, elevated right above that. Pitleski bounces inside for Wilson. Dribbles to control it. Now go back to his left. He's double teamed and in trouble. And one ref has a jump ball. The other has a foul on the floor, and that's the one that's going to win out. I believe that symbol foul is for bear hug.
You can say that, yeah. I don't really know what it is either. I just know he was giving them a bear hug.
That's what it looked like on the call. So with the timeout on the floor at the under 8, St. Norbert with a 22-20 lead. MSOE has been on a little bit of a run here of late. St. Norbert seems to have gone away from what was successful early on in the basketball game, and that was working the ball inside and going inside out.
Yeah, exactly like how you said. Their normal game is, try finding Brant Wilson or anyone inside, but MSOE has taken that into note and has really done a great job defensively, doubling when there's a post touch or anything. Alongside the words of that, I mean, if I'm MSOE, I'd kind of let the Green Knights shoot from beyond the arc. It's been something that not only have they struggled with so far this season, but they just don't like to shoot a whole lot of threes, kind of like MSOE.
All right, they're coming out of the timeout on the floor. Ball will belong to St. Norbert. Inbounding underneath for the Knights is Grade. Looking for an open man, finds one on the near side, and Pitleski back for Grade. There's a jump shot from Nikolai. Wide open tray, and he hits it. Back to a 5-point advantage. Taken by Doperak. Doperak goes to his left. Hands off, driving and scooping. Short underneath was Cordelli, but the rebound up and good for Carter. Another second chance opportunity there. Knights drive in. Grade from the top of the key over for Gresh. Gresh bounces for Nikolai. Nikolai guarded by Carter. Kicks out. Three-pointer. No good from Gresh. Rims off and picked up by MSOE. Down 3. Chance to cut it to 1 or even gain a tie here with a 3. Doperak falling down. Gets it to Carter, and he ties the game.
Just been a 1-2 game right now between Doperak and Carter. I mean, both of them. Carter now up to 12 points. Doperak right there with 8.
There's a chance for Nikolai short on the 3. Knights settling for some threes here the last few times down. Doperak, he'll go to his right, then kick out far side. Three-pointer, bang for MSOE. Chase Cummings, it's a 3-point Raider lead. Boy, what a difference from that under 8 timeout when the Knights had just gone up 5.
Yeah, coming out firing on all cylinders for MSOE, and it's not looking back.
It's an 8-0 run right now. Get out to 28-25. It was a 25-20 basketball game. And Coach Gresh needs a minute with his troops. Talk about, I think, as much as anything. I mean, sure, they've given up some points on the defensive side, but getting their offensive set, getting in a rhythm, not just settling for the first open 3 that you have and trying to, get something, have somebody take it to the rack, get some penetration.
Absolutely. Try getting to the line, give your guys a break, get a couple possible free throws in a sense, couple free points.
All right. It'll be Nikolai inbounding to Grade here in the backcourt. Grade across the timeline. Back for Nikolai near the top of the key. Sends over for Pitleski now. Now Wilson. Grade finally getting a cutter there that time. Kicked out though. There you go. Right back in for Wilson from Nikolai. That's what you need, a cutter from Wilson and a good find from Nikolai.
Yeah, just like you mentioned, great pass from Nikolai. Kind of was in and out of the hands pretty quick from Nikolai, which is exactly what you need.
Banked high off the glass and too hard there that time by big Ethan Johnson, 6'8" out of Watertown. Checking in for MSOE. Wilson now over to the near side for Grade. Back for Nikolai, between the legs dribble, out for Wilson. Wilson trying to find and going to draw a foul here as gaining position for the Knights was Otenbrock. The call is going to go against Isaac Witt. His second now and the team's 5th. Again, the Knights trying to establish that low post. Wilson feeds it inside. Grade with an easy layup.
Great kind of reverse pivot there from Grade. Acted like he was going out to the corner and then just reverse pivot, kind of putting his defender in a blender right there.
Knights back in the lead on their own little 4-0 run. Here's Donovan Carter, who silences the crowd on that one outside of the middle section of MSOE fans, including a big head of Donovan Carter.
Can't really go under that screen that was set on Carter there. Got to go over the top, try to get a hand in the face.
Pitleski caught, puts it up. That one's too hard. Oh, it comes right off to Nikolai. I think a couple of MSOE players fought themselves for that ball, and it found itself into Nikolai's hands. Tie game at 31. Knights get a poke away, but it comes right back to Johnson, who hands to Doperak. Now Carter from the baseline. That one's just short. Scramble for the ball. That's going to go off of Witt, no question. He argued that for a second, but I think he thought better of it with 4:11 left and a tie at 31. Substitutions both ways. Harrington in for the Knights. Harrington, Gresh, Wilson, Stuckey, and Nikolai are the 5 for St. Norbert right now. Nikolai bounces, looking for Wilson, and went off a foot of Carter and out of bounds. And we will get a timeout, the under 4 TV timeout. Well, I love these TV timeouts when you have no sponsors.
Don't have to really say anything. I mean,
you get a chance to just talk about what we've seen here so far in this basketball game. It's been an entertaining first half between these two teams.
Absolutely, just back and forth. Like how I mentioned earlier, just a game of runs so far. Green Knights started out a little hot, had that 18-9 run to start it out. Then MSOE started to crawl their way back, ended up tying the game at 22 there, got up by 3, and ever since kind of been back and forth. Now it's standing 31 apiece. But you can kind of thank Ethan Johnson for that. Ethan Johnson has been a force inside, making things very difficult for the Green Knights to get things going inside, especially with Brant Wilson. Brant Wilson started out the game with a couple buckets inside, and ever since now it's kind of been taken away from the Green Knight offensive game.
Right, exactly. Great point. Knights will come out of the timeout right now. Donovan Carter leading all scorers with 15. Doperak had gotten off to a great start for them. He's at 8 right now. Nikolai with 10 and Wilson with 8 for St. Norbert. And the Knights will inbound far side. It'll be Nikolai. Gets it into Stuckey. It's the starting 5 out there for the Knights from the wing for Nikolai. He was open, that one in and out. Rebound pulled down by the Raiders. Chance to take the lead. Not sure this guy has even sat on the bench yet tonight, Doperak, who handed to Johnson. Johnson bounce pass into Doperak, trying to post up back to the basket. He'll turn and spin. That one no good, but rebounding, putting it home is Ethan Johnson. 2-point Raider lead. Stuckey on the dribble. Now to Harrington, top of the key. Over to Nikolai with Carter closely guarding him. Nikolai will drive toward the baseline, looking to kick, and he got fouled. They're going to get Carter on that block there that time. His first foul, 6th on the team, so the Knights will be in the bonus from here on out. Into Wilson, who hands off right back to Stuckey. Now it's dumped inside to Wilson. Wilson, left hand hook is good. Correction, right hand hook was good.
He's gone to that plenty of times today, and he's been efficient with it. He's now 5 of 6 from the field.
Yeah, he's had a couple of baby hooks. That was more like an adolescent hook or a teenager, a tween hook there that time. Carter dishes it out for a long 3. That's long as well. Too much on that by Gendusa, but the rebound chased down. Carter back for Gendusa on the baseline, taken away by Wilson. Stepped in front of that pass. Knights with a chance to take the lead back. Wilson sends it far side to Nikolai. Back for Harrington, top of the key. Over for Wilson. And in for Gresh now. 13 on the shot clock. Gresh backing his man down. He'll try the fade away. And again, off the front, the backboard and good.
That's his game right there, just bounding up his defender and then a little step back fade away. He hit a game winner just a couple games ago on that little volleyball type fadeaway action.
He's got such a nice touch on that ball. It allows that, just gives it several opportunities to go there. Dishing it inside was Valente. Now it'll be kicked out far side. Cummings up and good.
He's a little quick guard himself, isn't he?
Gendusa there that time, yes. Yeah, Gendusa doesn't have a lot of size, just 5'11" out of McGuanago. But he definitely has a quick first step there that time and got the baseline. Took it all the way to the hole. 35 all, 1:15 left in the first half. Gresh near side. And all the way across goes Nikolai over to Stuckey, now up for Harrington. He'll take the three and drain it. Big three for Harrington. The Knights back up a triple. Under a minute to play here in the first. Up high, Johnson, and near side to Gendusa. Gendusa back inside, one little step, up and in. Everybody wanted to travel there that time, and did they get it? They did. It was a late whistle. Referee makes the call on Johnson. And the basket is wiped away, 38-35 St. Norbert. Boy, that whistle seemed to come kind of late.
Yeah, at first I thought it was going to be a clean 2 points for MSOE, but one of the refs, I believe it was
Sirakis.
Kenny Sirakis with a call from the other side of the court. A couple of too many steps for Ethan Johnson, though.
Oh, wow, what a recovery, but the rebound from Wilson doesn't go down. What a recovery inside. This will give us a chance as Gresh gets fouled. Taking it to the hole that time for the Knights was Stuckey. It looked like he had a wide open opportunity, but sliding over was Ethan Johnson for the rejection with authority there that time. Knights keep it alive, get a couple of rebound chances, and now Gresh will go to the line. 24 seconds. This is a 1-and-1 for Gresh. He makes the first. Earns the second in the bonus. Gresh is a 79% free throw shooter on the year. He makes them both. You love it when a bigger guy like that can also shoot free throws.
Yeah, I mean, in the NBA, you don't really see those big guys shooting efficiently from the line. But Garrett Gresh, one of those bigger guys that, can make a free throw count when it needs to be.
Yep, here's Carter. 5 seconds remaining in the half. Hands it off. Doperak's shot is good. And that'll do it for our first half of play. Big closing opportunity there for Mason Doperak. And he hits it to cut it to a 3-point Green Knight advantage.
Yeah, that was just nasty basketball right there from Doperak. Just guy in the face, time winding down, and just splash.
Well, what you notice about Doperak and Carter is that they're both guys who can create their own shots out there. They don't have to rely on the movement of the basketball or a screen even necessarily or pick. They can, with their own athleticism, they can create their own shot, and they've done very well here through one half of play. So at the halftime buzzer, the Green Knights lead at 40-37. We'll come back and take a look at the stats in a little bit. You're listening to and watching Green Knight basketball on the World Wide Web. Welcome back, St. Norbert College Green Knight basketball here on the World Wide Web. Tim DeRozier along with Austin Miller from the Mulva Family Fitness and Sports Center, and the Green Knights have a 3-point lead at halftime, just a bit away from the start of the second half. Let's take a look at some of the statistics. I'll start with some team statistics, and then we'll hand it off to Austin to do some individual numbers for you. Obviously, the 40-37 score field goal percentage, Green Knights actually doing quite well at 51.6, but I'm guessing Gary Gresh not real happy allowing 48.3 the other way. That's a big number. The Green Knights typically defensively only allow the opposition around 40%. So almost 10% higher than where they want to be in the course of a game. Knights 4 of 12 from the three-point line, so 33 and a third repeating. 45.5% for MSOE, 5 of 11 from the three-point arc. So again, their 40% average showing up here, even stronger than that in the period. Green Knights 4 of 5 from the stripe, 4 for 4 for MSOE. They did not miss a free throw. Knights with a slight edge in the rebounding category, 16-15 overall, 6-5 in offensive rebounds. Obviously 10-10 in defensive rebounds, and it was really a tight game. 6 lead changes through the course of the first half, 6 ties as well. The Green Knights dominating the time with a lead at over 11 minutes. And the last lead for MSOE came quite some time ago at 33-31 with 3:01 remaining in the first half. Knights have led by as much as 11 in this basketball game. Only 2 turnovers for St. Norbert and 4 for MSOE. A very well-played game when it comes to possessing the basketball. The Green Knights pretty good in that area all year, 11.7 turnovers per game. MSOE about 13 turnovers per game. Both those teams, I'm sure, will take those turnover numbers. How about some individual statistics, Austin?
Yeah, absolutely, and just how we expected. Leading the charts for MSOE, Carter and also Doperik. Carter, 15 points, 6 of 9 from the field, 3 of 3 from downtown. Has been absolutely tremendous tonight. You know, getting to a spot, you kind of said it at the end of the half there, them two being able to create shots. Doperik, 10 points, 3 of 9, 0 for 3 from downtown, but 4 of 4 from the stripe. And those are the two really leading the charge. Everyone else either has 3 or 4, 0 or 2 along the way. But for the Green Knights, Nikolai and Wilson leading charge with 10 points each. Harrington has added 6. Gresh has added 6 in there as well. So just a back and forth game here on Connie Tilley Court. Should be a great second half.
Yeah, it should be. I know you had a chance to get a minute with Coach Gresh, and I'm guessing defense was one of the focuses.
Yeah, absolutely. When you have, like how we just mentioned, Carter and Doperik basically doing anything they want offensively, it takes a toll on your defense. And Coach Gresh wants the Green Knights to really lock it in defensively and get things going offensively by going back to the rim.
All right, first possession of this second half belongs to MSOE, and going strong to the hole but getting stopped defensively, missing the shot and the rebound and a foul. Doperik went straight in. That was Valente on the strong rebound, and getting a piece of the arm there that time was Brant Wilson. Just his first. And also, obviously, the first foul of the half, just 12 seconds in. Valente strokes the first. He'll get the opportunity for number 2 here. Valente is just 67% from the free throw line, but you wouldn't have known it by those two.
Yeah. Clean stroke. Everyone from this MSOE team really has a clean stroke from the line or anything in general. Just a very well-rounded shooting basketball team.
Well, that was just his 22nd and 23rd attempt all year. There's a chance. Long by Nikolai. Pulled down on the board by Doperik. So not a spot he's used to being in there for Valente.
Nikolai now 2 of 6 from downtown. May have to start looking somewhere inside as the threes aren't really falling for him tonight.
Right. Shooters shoot out of those slumps, though, don't they? Bounce over to the near side to Valenti. Valenti hands off again to Doperik. That's a long three from Doperik. 6 feet outside the arc there that time, and it was short, as you might imagine. The Knights with it.
That one came from all the way from Milwaukee.
Exactly. There's a three. No good from Gresh. Close, but no cigar. Batted out of bounds. It'll belong to MSOE. Down just one with 18:43 left. Well, there's a good south breeze out there. Helped them a little bit.
Gave it a little extra push.
Oh, MSOE, I'm telling you, that college is in a good spot. Downtown Milwaukee, so close to the Fiserv Forum and also to Glorioso's Italian Deli. You got to go to that place sometime, I'm just telling you. Driving up, kicking out to the high key there that time, then pushed up from the far wing and no good. The Knights will take it down. I started getting hockey brain there for a minute, but Glorioso's is a stop for the hockey team every year. Up and short, back off to Harrington. Ooh, that looked like it may have ticked off his hands on the way out of bounds. And did they get a foul there? No.
No foul, just
ball. I didn't know
dead
what
ball.
Yep, didn't know what the 2 was coming from the official on the far side. Here's Nikolai bouncing into Wilson. And he'll do the hook again. That one will roll in. What a beauty.
Hasn't missed a shot from inside of 5
I don't
so
think
far
he's
tonight.
Done anything but that baby hook. Valenti with it now. Handled and dribbled to the right by Carter. Now Doperak will go into the lane, kick it out for Valenti's 3, and nothing but the bottom of the net. Tied at 42. Bringing the ball up the court for the Knights. Stuckey, he'll kick it out. Garrett Gresh's 3 is no good. Rims out. A lot of rim outs for the Knights from beyond the arc here tonight.
Almost seems like there's a lid on top of that rim.
Sure seems that way. Doperak will give MSOE the lead at 44-42. Stuckey up court. Kicked out for Gresh. Now Harrington. Back up for Stuckey. That's got their original starting 5 in there now. Valenti really battling down there. Finally, a 3 falls. This one from Will Stuckey. Quite a battle going on the inside that had my eyes between Valenti and Wilson, but Stuckey drained the 3. That's a long one from Cummings and rims out. Rebound to Wilson, and he'll hand off to Stuckey. Knights up 1 now. Harrington. Over for Stuckey, back for Gresh. Just above the free throw line, falling into his legs there. That time was Cordelli. And Nikolai stepped out of bounds. Turns it over. Raider basketball. Down 1. 16-15 remaining. And we're going to get a wiping of the court here, it appears. Official Joe Thiessen taking care of that himself. Don't they have people to do that around here?
You would think so.
Helping him out is Doperak. Here's a spot, here's a spot, there's a spot. I do that to my wife when she's vacuuming when I want to get into trouble. You missed a spot, you missed one here. Then she just gives me the vacuum.
Sorry, if someone was bugging me about that, I would do the exact same thing.
Cummings gets it back to Doperak now. He hands. Trapped against his leg a bit there. Got it off back for Cummings. Good defense from Harrington. Now over on the baseline to Cordelli. They'll kick it out, and down low we'll get a foul on Gresh. That's his first personal. Team second. We get the 16-minute timeout on the floor, and Gary Gresh not real happy with the official. Garrett having a chat with him right now. That's Bobby Mazalewski down there. And now we get the dance team and the cheer team in the third quarter, bringing the energy to the building. Along with that student section, you'd mentioned earlier to me, Austin, off camera, off air, that it's a blackout game, and the students definitely got the message.
Oh, yeah, they like to show up for these NAC playoff games, talk a little bit, the chatter between them and the players is always fun, especially when WLC comes into town. They always like to try getting in the heads of the players a little bit.
Yep.
Kind of welcome or greet them with a nice welcoming,
well,
you could say.
I know when I was a student here, and for many years after that, until the conference change, Ripon was the rival here, and whenever Ripon was in the building, it was probably double or triple the normal amount of students, and it was a raucous environment. Both sides, going to Ripon or being here.
I saw some of the pictures from back in the day of that student section. I'm like, why can't we get that many students to these games?
Right. Especially, St. Norbert brings a good team to the floor every year, and that's a foul on the ground. I think they're going to get Harrington. That's his third foul, and he's going to have to come out probably for an extended period of time. Checking in is Pitleski.
Yeah, Harrington will probably sit down until probably that 9-minute mark. He's just so good defensively. You can't have him off the court for that long.
Yeah, exactly. Cummings kicks it out to Valente. Now on the dribble, Doperak. Tried to get it to Cummings, poked away by the Knights. Collected by Doperak. 5 seconds remaining on the shot clock. There's a launch that's no good, and Carter tries to save it. It bounced out before he could get there.
Almost still looked in play for a second there. Just from this angle, it still looked like it was still bouncing off the tan, but
yep,
maybe there was a little crevice of green in that. It's like one of those tennis replays.
Yeah, right.
Seeing if the ball is like literally the sliver of a fingernail on that white line.
We're going to get a foul the other way. Those are always pretty dramatic. You get that computer reenactment there. 15:29 left. The Knights with the ball and a 1-point lead right now. And inbounding will be Pitleski. Ethan Johnson checks in for Valente. Had quite an impact on the first half. Both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. In for Wilson, who's back to him. Bounces inside to the cutter, Pitleski, and on his fake, he draws the foul, but it's on the ground. Cummings ended up on his back. So no free throws. Third team foul. Second team foul on MSOE. My apologies. They're so quick down there at the scorer's table. I thought they had to add that third yet, but did not.
I realized that yesterday, too. I was looking, and it's like, wait a minute. They already added it.
Tipped as they try to get it into Wilson. Taken away instead by Johnson and handed off to Doperak. He's got it at the free throw line. Kicks it out. Cummings will drive it right back to that same spot. It's Dean up on Carter over the near side for Cummings. Oh, that's a hard. That should be offensive, and it is. Getting his arms up was Ethan Johnson up into the face area there that time, and it was the right call. He extended his arms on that pick with authority.
Yeah, Coach Hurd was kind of complaining about it. Could have been a tale of both ways, but either way, goes in the Green Knight direction. Maybe a couple of those calls earlier in the game or earlier in the half could have gone in the Green Knight direction, but they went in the MSOE direction. So just back and forth between calls and everything else.
Well, it didn't help that there was a delay in the signal there that time, whether it was offensive or a block. All right, Nikolai on the left dribble over the near side, three-pointer, and that one off the back iron. Not a pretty look there that time for Olenbrock.
Olenbrock, one of those guys on this Green Knight team that can really stroke it from downtown. He's been very well at shooting the three ball this season, but struggled a little bit against Aurora in the first playoff game, and now coming off the bench, trying to hook up a three pretty early in the shot clock, maybe not the look that he wanted.
Turnover on the other end of the floor as Johnson was looking for a cutter, looking for Doperak, who never cut. Two of them had a nice little conversation. Taken by Stuckey, kick back out for Gresh. Near side, Pitleski goes to the rack, lays it up and in with the left hand. Got right by Jendusa there that time.
That first step from Pitleski is lethal. He just beats his defender right on his hip.
There's Carter up, no good. Rebound offensive and a foul. Going to be called against the Knights, and unhappy about that call is Olenbrock. They're going to get him for his second. I think he thought he had all ball that time, knocking it out of the hands of Isaac Witt. Witt to the free throw line. First is up and good. Witt is a 78% free throw shooter. So really, Valenti at 67 and Ane Amoa at 63 are the two guys you don't mind fouling. Everybody else is above an average, typical league average free throw shooter. All right, 47-46, St. Norbert. Right to the hole again with the penetration there. That time was Nikolai. He's fouled. That's going to be against Carter, and that is his third. Down to 13:36 left. Carter may not come out of this basketball game. He looks over to his bench. I don't see anybody getting up to come in for him. That's not a guy you want to take out in a game that's a 1-point differential.
Especially if it's a win or go home scenario.
Right.
You just got to let him play until he fouls out, basically. And you just hope at this point he doesn't pick up two more.
First free throw up and good for Nikolai. Nikolai, a 73% free throw shooter, and he makes that one. Right in line with the team average on the year. 2 for 2 there. 3-point advantage, St. Norbert. Looking to get it inside is Witt. Instead settles for dropping it off to Jendusa. Jendusa dribbling out high. Hands back for Witt. Odd to see Jendusa and Witt in a two-man game. Carter not touching the ball, nor was Doperak. Now Carter gets it, and defense played well there. Oh, they're going to get a shot clock violation. Good defense for the Knights. They thought they might have had a turnover and a steal. They get a turnover on the shot clock violation. Carter couldn't get it up to the rim.
Great help defense there from Grade. Even though Jamison Nikolai almost had the clamps on Carter there, just another hand never hurts.
Jacking up the three right away. Nikolai no good. There's a drive to the rack up and good by Cordelli. Feeding him there was Doperak. I was very surprised last time down the court with that violation. Jendusa and Witt were playing a two-man game. They still had both of their key players on the floor. There's a three for the Knights. That's no good. Back the other way, MSOE. Chance to take the lead back. Doperak into the lane. No good. Looked like it could have been a travel there. You saw a travel. The student section saw a travel.
I wouldn't really listen to a student section.
There's a three for the Knights. Olenbrock hits it. That's a big one for St. Norbert. Been a little stale offensively the last few trips down. He drills one from the corner. 52-48. Little breathing room for St. Norbert. Carter with the basketball. St. Norbert has really amped it up defensively. There's a three. Hard off the back iron. The Knights got there, but it was tipped off the finger of Cordelli. He didn't think so. His opinion, fortunately for the Knights, does not matter. And the Knights have a 4-point lead and the basketball as we reach the under 12 timeout. The winner of this game goes on to play in the title game for the automatic berth in the NCAA tournament. That title game will be played Sunday. And as of right now, St. Norbert is the 2 seed. They need Wisconsin Lutheran, the 1 seed, to lose in order to host that game, should they win this one. And that's not looking too good right now, is it?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. WLC kind of running over CUW right now in a battle of 2 Milwaukee schools. WLC leading that one 58-36. Many of these St. Norbert fans or even MSOE fans that are watching, you know, this Wisconsin Lutheran team is pretty legit.
Yeah.
Ranked 17th in the country, have a lot of guys back from prior years, and it's just been crazy to see as how good of basketball they are truly playing.
Would they have a chance, do you think? I know the NAC isn't traditionally a 2-bid school in the NCAA tournament. Do you think if St. Norbert could pull through, or we won't even talk about the MSOE possibility, but if St. Norbert could pull through, get the automatic, do you think Wisconsin Lutheran could get back into that field?
I believe so. I mean, every time this Green Knight team and WLC team play each other, it's very competitive, back and forth, and WLC is just so good. They've played very well in the non-conference style of games, and I think they earn their bid even if they lose the conference championship game.
There's Nikolai on the strong take. St. Norbert now up 6. Stretching it a little bit. 5-0 run for the Knights. Worked inside. Knights on a double team. Force it outside for Cummings. He's open and he hits it. It's a big stroke there that time for Chase Cummings. It's still within shouting distance here at 54-51. In fact, it's really within like a whispering distance. Handed off to Nikolai, then far side. Gresh will give it for a 3-pointer. Up and good! Stroking it for the Knights, Jaden Grade. St. Norbert up 6. Sent far side and controlled ultimately by Doperak. He'll get it back and he'll try the top of the key 3, and he hits it. Back to a 3-point game. Back and forth 3-pointers between these two teams the last 3 trips down.
He is just so good. Like how you mentioned plenty of times, the shot creation that he brings to the table as a guard is really hard from a defense perspective.
And in that case, you're not going to defend a guy 3 feet beyond the arc very often. Here's a 3 from Gresh. That one never had a chance. Picked up by Doperak on the rebound. Doperak into the lane. Near side, Cummings, little short one. Doesn't seem to be his shot. He likes those 3s. Timeout taken, and a good one. Battling for that ball for St. Norbert was Grade, and he takes the timeout off his backside. Want to keep that possession. Very alert there that time by Grade. He had nothing else to do when he was laying on the floor.
Yeah, very smart of him to call timeout. Now, this is where you get into a scenario where, you know, you have 2 timeouts left. You do have the media timeouts coming up yet, but if I'm honest, I wouldn't call a timeout even if you're on the floor, as those 2 timeouts can be very, very valuable later in the game, possibly within like the last minute of the game.
Yeah, exactly. You want to definitely save those as long as you can, and we've got a lot of time left yet in this half. So the Knights with 2 and 3 for MSOE, and you know, I think 2 is the minimum you want to go into that final minute and a half, 2 minutes with for both teams. So I'm sure Gary Gresh hoping his team doesn't get into a position where he feels like he needs to take them sooner than that. 9:50 left, and St. Norbert nursing a 3-point lead right now at 57-54. The MSOE Raiders come in having taken 7.7 3-pointers per game coming into this contest, which isn't a very big number. Tonight, they've taken 18 and are 8 of 18. 3-point land. The Knights are 7 of 22 now, which isn't horrible, 32%, but it's not where you want to be either. Harrington inside for Wilson on the left-hand dribble. The underscoop that time around Johnson is good.
Johnson had the high hands thinking that baby hook was coming, but great high IQ play from Wilson there to go with the scoop shot.
Yep, little scooper off the backboard and in. Hand it off now for Cordelli. Up high Johnson, far side Carter, and we got a foul off the ball. That's going to go against Pitleski. His first, the 5th on the Knights. He'll come out of the basketball game. Harrington's in there with 3 fouls, and he's tasked with guarding Doperak. Goes back out to Doperak up high. Into Carter at good position. Felt like maybe 3 seconds in there. Carter was in there a long time. Made it from just outside the restricted area. 59-56. Stuckey gets it out high to Wilson. Now over for Harrington. Back for Stuckey as he pops out to the key. There's a 3-pointer. Pitleski. What a shot that time from Pitleski. We had a great angle on that. It was good all the way.
That's why I love being up here in the booth. Just being able to see these shots from the close wings here, just directly go in.
There was no doubt. Oh, and a drawing one, and the shot is Carter. Chance for a 3-point play the old-fashioned way. And that's the 6th foul on the Knights with 8:26 left, so that means MSOE is shooting the rest of the way. This will be a one-shot foul because of the made basket as well. Carter trying to make it a 3-point play, and he does. Got the kiss off the backboard there that time. 3-point contest. 8:20 to go. Pitleski to Wilson, now Harrington. Worked for a wide open chance for Gresh, and that's no good. Up and over the backboard off the supports there that time, and back it goes to MSOE. Gresh, go ahead.
Just one of those nights for Gresh tonight, 0 for 7 from beyond the arc. Just a lid on top of the rim for him tonight.
Kicked out near side now, down low again for Carter, and he gets space and scores. In the land of the Giants there for Donovan Carter at just 6'4". Finds a way to get it up and in. He's a great inside player for his size.
Physical, aggressive.
And we're going to get a foul on the floor on MSOE. So trying to draw a charge there that time was Doperak. He doesn't. And we get a timeout on the floor again for the under 8. 7:39 left, 62-61 St. Norbert. That's the 3rd personal on Doperak. So both he and Carter have 3. The Knights have a couple of players with 3 as well. And Johnson has 3 also for MSOE. The Green Knights, as we flip over on the board here, have Harrington with 3, and that's it right now. Gresh has 2. Olenbrock has 2.
Yeah, it's back and forth, back and forth. That's really how it's been between scoring, rebounding, fouls, anything in general. It's just a tremendous game here in the Mola Family Fitness and Sports Center. Love to see it.
Well, the Knights have had the lead most of the game, but it's been that 1 to 4 point range or 1 to 3 most of the contest. Sometimes they got it up to 6 for a bit. Not for long. A big 3 for MSOE, cut it to 3 again, and they just can't shake them. Green Knights have led this hockey game. Darn it, it happened.
Hey, that's totally okay.
They've had the lead a lot, we'll put it that way. All right, back in play, 62-61 in favor of St. Norbert. Inside, Wilson again to the left hand. That one rims away. Good hard rebound by Nikolai Pitleski. No other chance on a reload. Back out for Pitleski. Tipped away as he tried to pass it far side. Here comes Cummings, 2-on-1. He turns it over. Back inside for Pitleski, who's good on the layup. Took that pass from Stuckey, and the Knights back up a tray.
Great defense from Stuckey on that 3-on-1 in offensive transition. That is a freshman guard, ladies and gentlemen, and he just played that 3-on-1 transition perfectly.
There's a three-pointer on the other side, short. That was well beyond the arc for Isaac Witt. St. Norbert back up 3, a chance to stretch it out again. Their largest lead has been 11, and that was in the first half. They haven't been close to that in the second half. Played out, Nikolai goes back to his left, trying to work his way toward the basket. It's batted away. Wilson had a chance for a relatively easy lay. It looked like he rushed it there that time with traffic inside. Three-pointer for Cummings. Stop and pop, tie game.
My goodness.
Chase Cummings on the hit. The Knights have led 72% of this game. So despite it being close and the other way, Cummings with a steal and a lay-in. And it's a 2-point lead for the Raiders. Again, Gary Gresh probably not wanting to use a timeout here, but he's going to. Down to one timeout now with 5:43 left in this game and down a pair to the Raiders. Well, that, from a turnover standpoint, is the 6th for St. Norbert, maybe 7th. The live stats is a little slower to update than the scoreboard would be, but it reads 6 right now for St. Norbert, 8 for MSOE. That was a big one there. Cummings on a steal, wide open opportunity to the rim, and he laid it in.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of been eyeing it up all game, I feel like, with that little handoff or little action right away when the guard comes down the floor. But other than that, I mean, I love this timeout from Coach Gresh. Some people may say, you know, let's hold the 2 timeouts for later, but you need to calm down right now. And, you know, MSOE, a little bit of a run there in the last minute or so, minute and a half, and just calming down your team, letting them know, hey, let's go. Nothing hurting right now. Find themselves down 2. This isn't the first time they've been down 2 at all this season, so I like the timeout in a sense.
Yep, I agree. It's not what you want to have to do, but it's what you had to do. Stem that tide a little bit. All right, Knights down 2, but with the basketball. Still 5:42 left in this game. Harrington out for Gresh. Far side, Nikolai. Back for Wilson. And Harrington, everything very perimeter, just switching at the top of the key. 7 seconds left on the shot clock as that one's knocked out of bounds. Nikolai will inbound here to Stuckey. And now for Gresh, bounce for Stuckey. He's got a fire and he hit it! Oh, what a shot for Will Stuckey. Turnaround, fadeaway, 3-pointer at the end of the shot clock. They called it a long 2. It's tied at 66. And we're going to get an offensive foul on Cummings, I believe, and it is. My goodness, circle that Will Stuckey turnaround long 2.
That was tremendous. Hand in the face, nothing really going whatsoever. Kind of just had all glory to God in that one and just threw it up there.
It was the Hail Mary in basketball sense right there. Wow. All right, they're wiping down the court once again.
I just want to say one thing, too. Johnny Tim, I am so sorry. Back-to-back years where the semifinal game has been neck and neck all the way through, and you're missing it once again.
Yeah, Benedictine last year was an all-time classic. Kind of hoping this one isn't, but it's stolen by Johnson. The Knights to stretch this out a little more. I've been very fortunate as far as that goes. And I'm not really sorry, Johnny.
You've been able to call the good games.
Exactly. Doperak will go to his left. At the top of the key and down low, up for Johnson and no good, and rebounded by Stuckey. Stuckey hands it off to Gresh, who got a hand in the face there that time by Cordelli. You know, Stuckey, such an impressive basketball player, and, you know, the kid's just a freshman from Delafield. He's got quite the career ahead of him here.
Oh, yeah. He reminds me a lot of many of this SNC alumni will remember a lot of a Carter Gebler. You know, can shoot the ball terrifically, can play defense at a decent level. I mean, he's still got room to improve defensively, but offensively, he's almost right there in terms of being a floor general and being able to score when need be.
First free throw was good. Second on the way, and nothing but the bottom of the net there for Garrett Gresh. The Knights back up 2. 4:14 left. Possession arrow in the Green Knights' favor. Only one timeout left, though, for Gary Gresh's crew. There's a three from Doperak. Short. Oh, rebound for Johnson. Initially rejected. He gets it back and puts it up and in. Good block by Brant Wilson on the first attempt. Back to a tie game at 68. Next whistle will be the under 4 timeout. Fed in for Garrett Gresh. Bounced over and laid up and in again. The soft touch. Brant Wilson. Doperak down by 2. He hands off for Cordelli. Cordelli on the left-hand dribble, over to Carter now on the wing. Carter inside, Doperak on the elbow, shoulders his way in deeper, then kicks it out. Three-pointer Cordelli, off the back iron, no good. Stuckey. Hands off for Gresh. Elbow extended, and that one rims out. Doperak again now, and he'll stop, pop, rim out. That was in and out that time. Trying to get there is Gresh. Sealing him off nicely was Cordelli, and the ball will stay MSOE's way. There's your under 4 timeout. All the way at 2:48 left in the contest. So to set things for you, St. Norbert leads it 70-68. MSOE has possession of the basketball. The possession arrow favors the Green Knights. St. Norbert has 6 team fouls. MSOE has 7, so both teams shooting the rest of the way in the bonus for the final 2:48 of this basketball game.
Did it again.
I'll be on the call for St. Norbert hockey tomorrow night at 7:05. St. Norbert takes on Trine in their semifinal.
That'll be a good game, huh?
It will be a great game in the Harris Cup semifinals. The winner of that goes to the final with, again, just like this, the NCAA automatic berth on the line.
Now, same question there almost. You think even if St. Norbert misses out on the conference championship, you think they still get an at-large bid?
I think
saying if they make the NAC or conference championship.
Yeah, I think if they make the championship, for sure. I would be shocked if they didn't, based on their everything in basketball or in hockey goes by NPI rating. I'm not sure how basketball does it. Maybe also by NPI. And right now, where they're rated it'd be really hard for them not to if they only lost to Aurora, say, in the title. But you know, you never leave it in the hands of a computer program. In, and the reverse layup, no good. Rebound fought for, and they're going to get a late foul call. It'll be on the ground, 1-1. It's going to go against Jamison Nikolai, his first. All right, Ethan Johnson for the 1-1. And no good, it rims out. Harrington on the rebound. Big miss for Ethan Johnson, who is at 68% from the stripe.
Could have found your guy right there if it comes late in the game and you need a foul.
He's already missed once. Keep going at it. Harrington to the left hand. Oh, what a rejection. Turned aside by Doperak right on the baseline.
Just great help defense there from Doperak. Stuckey was in that right corner, so he was just sitting there in the paint and waiting for something to happen. He could almost see it from a mile away.
Every trip down the floor magnified here with 2:22 left in a 2-point game. Wilson stolen away by Johnson. He was trying to back him down. Johnson got his hands on the ball. Doperak bounces to Carter. Carter shoulders his way in against Harrington. Great defense by Harrington, and that foul call came 2 full beats after the missed shot. That call came way late by Bobby Mazalewski, and my goodness, the fans may be onto something there with the chant that's going through the building right now. Yeah, Carter will stroke it.
You can't call that. In this close of a game, as good as the defensive efforts that was Carter just jumping into Harrington there, and Harrington couldn't do nothing more as he was straight up as a stick.
Yeah, what is a defender supposed to do in that situation? And it was a bailout call from the official. All right, we're tied at 70 with 1:56 left. Faking the three was Nikolai. It's a long 2 instead, and that was pure.
I like that out of him. Has struggled from beyond the arc tonight, just taking a couple dribbles in and making an impact that way.
Bounce pass on the inside. That one no good. A wild shot there from Doperak. Up against the tall boys of the Knights there on the inside. Big trip down the court here, trying to make it a 2-possession game if you're St. Norbert with 1:25 left. Stuckey up high for Nikolai, and then Gresh. Now Harrington back for Stuckey. To Gresh at the wing. Inside, they're going to go to Wilson, and again with the little hook. Knights up 4, 1:06 left. 3 timeouts available. And instead, they're going to take the long 3 and hit it. Mason Doperak hits the 3 in a timeout taken by MSOE, I would guess. 30-second timeout. What a shot by Doperak to cut it to a 1-point game with 59.4 left. Whew.
Oh boy.
I got 2 bottles of water before the game started, not just 1.
Yep. It's one of those games where you're going to use a lot of your voice.
Absolutely. Terrific matchup between these two teams here tonight. Winner again, it looks like, advances to take on Wisconsin Lutheran down in Milwaukee. They were having their way with Concordia, and that one nearly over, 81-57 late in the game, and matchup of the top seed and either the 2 in St. Norbert or the 3 in MSOE, depending what plays out here in our final 59.4. Knights with the basketball and Nikolai on the dribble, taking his time to the timeline. Nikolai will stop and pop the 3. No. Not real close that time. Doperak down 1. Doperak picked away by Stuckey. Here he comes the other way. He's going to pull it out. What a steal by Stuckey, and a great decision to pull it out there that time. Run some clock. See if you can get a basket here. 18 on the shot clock, 25 on the game clock at that time. There's about an 8-second difference. Nikolai drifts to his right. Now he'll go straight in, up off the glass, and good! 3-point Green Knight lead. 76-73. Timeout MSOE. 11.4 left on the clock.
That was huge. From the looks of it, I did not like how that was going in terms of Nikolai falling away just about 10 feet and then just got it to go off the glass. That is huge for the Green Knights.
Cordelli is the one who cut him off and kept him from being able to get to the rack, forced that more difficult shot there that time from Nikolai, but he seemed in control all the way. It was not a flailing or out of control opportunity there for Nikolai, and the Knights have a 3-point advantage. 11.4 left, and now the consistent debate. And there may be too much time on the clock to think about whether or not you foul or let them get a 3-pointer off.
Saying that in terms of fouling, not a terrible idea. I mean, you go up, you take away their opportunity of knocking down a 3 and tying this thing, which is pretty.
Yep.
I mean, it's the right thing to do possibly if it gets to that. But
you just can't accidentally, you can't get a guy who realizes what's happening and goes into the shooting motion. This team going 3 shots at the line trying to tie it with an 80% likelihood of making each puts you in some danger, that's for sure. Well, let's see what Coach Gresh decides to do and his staff. Here we go. Everybody on their feet in the student section. We're on our feet.
I can tell you this, ball's either going to Doprick or Carter.
I would be shocked if neither of them take the next shot for this team. Here's Carter. 10 seconds. Doprick at the timeline. Guarded by Nikolai. Doprick flailing 3. No good. The Knights with the rebound. St. Norbert is going to win this basketball game. I'm not sure if Doprick wanted a foul call on that 3.
Sorry, one of the students, Garrett Gresh threw the ball in the stands and one of the students made a 3.
Oh my goodness, I didn't see that.
That was awesome.
My goodness, St. Norbert with the big win. Doperak, that just wasn't a good look. They had time to get a much better shot than that. Doperak was well guarded, had nothing to do but flail his way at a shot, and I don't think there's any way you're going to draw a foul call when you're that out of control with 2 seconds left in a basketball game.
Yeah, absolutely not. And Green Knight defense did totally the right thing there. And Doperak just tried to force a foul, try to go to the line and hand one opportunity. He's been so efficient from beyond the arc, so I don't mind the chance of trying to flop it a little bit to get that call. But other than that, I mean, could have definitely tried to find a better shot.
Well, credit the Green Knights defensively for making that the only shot that Doperak had in that situation. And the Green Knights escape with a 76-73 win here in the NAC tournament semifinal. They will travel down to Milwaukee to take on Milwaukee Lutheran on Sunday. The winner of that game gets the automatic bid out of the NAC to the NCAA tournament. What a dandy we had here tonight. You think about how close this game was, and as I mentioned earlier, St. Norbert led this game for a large portion of it. In fact, at the end of the day, St. Norbert led this game 70.3% of the time. MSOE just 11.9, and the rest was tied. But it was never a comfortable lead throughout the whole contest. Yes, St. Norbert got up 11 at one point in the first half, but that didn't last long. And it was always really a grind here for the Green Knights.
Yeah, you hit that on the spot. Yeah, they had the lead for 75% of the game or whatever it was, but it was just back and forth. a lot of ties in there, 11 ties in terms of, whether it's 31 or 66. It didn't matter because MSOE was in this game until that buzzer sounded.
Yeah, they absolutely were, all the way to the end. 24 points for Carter to lead MSOE on the night. 18 for Doperak, 11 for Cummings, 8 for Valenti, 4 for Jandusa, 4 for Johnson on the inside, who at first was a factor on the inside. The Knights did a nice job on him defensively shortly after he came into the ball game. Cordelli with 2 and Witt with 2. For St. Norbert individually, leading the way was Nikolai with 18, along with Wilson with an 18-point game inside. Pitleski with 11. 7 for Stuckey, 8 for Gresh. 6 for Harrington, 5 for Grade, and 3 for Olenbrock. So the Knights had 7 players on the score sheet in their contest tonight. Some stats team-wise, the Knights shot 49.2% versus 44.8%. St. Norbert ended up at 30.8% from beyond the arc, 8 of 26. A good night beyond the arc for MSOE, 41.7%, 10 of 24. MSOE missed only 1 free throw, but so did St. Norbert. 11 for 12 for MSOE, 8 for 9 for St. Norbert from the charity stripe. Knights win the rebound battle, 34-30. They won both the offense and defensive battle. There were 11 ties in this game and 10 lead changes. We mentioned the Knights had a significant percentage of the game with a lead, 28 minutes of basketball to MSOE's just under 5 minutes of basketball. Turnovers, 10-8. MSOE suffered 10 there in this contest, both under their season averages. St. Norbert with 15 assists to 11 for MSOE. St. Norbert has always been a high assist team the way their offense runs. 3 blocks for MSOE, just 2 for St. Norbert. And I think other place that, and you look to Wilson's ability, but you look at the points in the paint, 38 points in the paint for the Knights in this game. That's exactly half of their points in the contest. They did a nice job despite a couple of lulls where they settled for threes, going back to that well and going back to Wilson, who had himself an excellent basketball game tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. That's been their identity all season. So for me, it doesn't come to as much as a surprise it maybe does for you, but, that's their live and die scenario right there, points in the paint. We've seen them score 50 points in the paint just a couple of games ago. I believe that game was against, I think it was against Edgewood when they had 58 points in the paint, just absolutely dominated inside the paint. And, it's been their go-to, and I don't see it not being their go-to until Coach Gresh possibly leaves here as head coach.
Yeah, exactly. Well, don't say that. We don't want to think about that.
I'm saying in future years. I'm not saying after this year, but after he retires from the game of basketball.
Yep.
And
20 years from now, and it's when they have Connie Tilley Court at Gary Gresh
Gym.
Arena or something, a gym,
Yep.
right? So he can get that extra name in there. Wilson averaged 12 points a game coming in at 18, a big night. The Knights also survived a not very productive night offensively anyway from Garrett Gresh tonight.
Yeah, it's Garrett Gresh, one of those players that has had his ups and downs this year in terms of scoring the basketball, but let me tell you, when he's on, it is something else. And obviously tonight he wasn't shooting as efficiently as he possibly hoped, but you can thank all the guys around him too that stepped up to the occasion, like Stuckey, for example, Harrington knocking down a couple shots in there, Grade coming off the bench, Piletsky coming off the bench, knocking down some shots as well. So even when one guy's off, you got 5 more guys that can really help and make a contribution to the scoring column.
I know Stuckey only had 7 points in the game, but he also had 3 steals and a big one late in the contest, taking it away from Doperak. And For my money in that second half, he was as much of the spark plug for this team as anybody. Stuckey with an excellent second half of play tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Like how you said, that huge steal late down the stretch was a big part. I believe it was a 2-point game at that point,
yes.
And MSOE was coming down, getting ready to possibly tie it or even take the lead, and Stuckey just snatches it out of Doperk's hands there and comes up with a huge steal, and then makes a smart IQ play of dribbling it out instead of trying to go get a fast break layup and stopping the clock. So great game from Stuckey, especially him only being a freshman, has already taken, like what you mentioned earlier, taken the step from freshman to sophomore, or even you can almost say a junior type player already.
Yeah, that's the growth in a freshman season, and terrific to watch him play tonight. Stuckey had an excellent ball game for St. Norbert. 76-73 the final. They move on to their Sunday title game. Your year of broadcasting is not done up here. You have a contest tomorrow to call.
Yep, that will be the last time ever on the call. It is what it is.
Some emotions there, and
hey, it'll take a special place in my heart. And got to thank the St. Norbert College Athletic Program for taking me in, especially Johnny and everything like that. So, like how you said, it'll be a little emotional, but it is what it is. It's another step in life that I was able to do, and highly grateful for it.
Well, Austin Miller, it's been a pleasure for me to have an opportunity to call tonight's game, and about 1 year ago today, the game against Benedictine. It's been a lot of fun, and I've been doing PA mostly for your football games, which I know this was your senior year, obviously, so as well, but enjoyed watching you on the field there, so it's been an honor for me. Thanks for letting me join you.
Absolutely.
All right. Once again, the final score here from Connie Tilley Court at the Malva Family Fitness and Sports Center. Your St. Norbert College Green Knights 76. The Raiders from Milwaukee School of Engineering 73. Knights move on to the title game in Milwaukee on Sunday. For St. Norbert College Green Knight Athletics, as well as my broadcast partner, Austin Miller, I'm Tim DeRozier. Have a great night, everybody.
That's okay. You get all the good games.